Here, I am acting as Dorothy Parker. She's a business user and she needs to retrieve information to produce a report for his team and its manager. So what are you seeing right now in the screen? It's the new portal of Microsoft Purview Data Catalog. As a business user, most of the time, you have to search for data. Here, in the portal, you have a search feature right over there that allow you by clicking on this to search in your business day-to-day usual language. For instance, I am looking for concert information because I am working in an organization who sell tickets for shows, videos, or on any kind of events. On here, we need to grab information for all the things that we sell to create a report. When you do your search like this, you will get so many answers based on your request right over there. Of course, you can have a quick overview of what you are looking for, but at the same time, you can use what we call here facets. On one of important things, so you can search by collection. If your organization did a kind of organization of your data in a specific collection, it could be for a workload, for a product, or any kind of organization you would like to put in place. But you can also search by term. On that, it could be super important because you can have what we call a glossary term to allow you to give you context on the search. So here I am working on the concert because I need to have information of all my concert because I need to create a report about the sales ticket, no show and stuff like that. On here, the result based on the combination of what I am looking for with my day-to-day business language and the glossary term put in place by my organization, I am able here to get the assets really focused on what I'm looking for. The thing that you can see here very quickly, you can see some information like this, like tags. I can help to show you some rating coming from users, and also label, letting you know what can the severity of the information. It could be, if here in this case high confidential, but it could be a public, secret, non-disclosure agreement, and so on and so on, based on how your organization treat this kind of information. So here, this is on a SQL database, on Azure SQL table, to be more precise. And if I click on it, I will get the details of this asset. So here, this is the metadata of this asset. I have here my asset description. This is something done manually by my data stewardship team, but that can give me a high level of information. You can have also manage attributes in case you have to create a custom attribute to answer a specific need. And you will get also classification. You will get the global classification that you can add manually here, but also the schema classification that most of the time come automatically during the scan. So when the data catalog scan your data source on the fly, the scan can apply out-of-the-box rules or customized rules to classify your asset. So here I can see that this asset has a full name, credit card number, email address, and so on and so on. On this one, this is one of them I created personally because I need to retrieve a specific information. The customization can be done on regular expression or list of value. You will get also information about where the metadata is in the data catalog, and you will get also information where physically is the Lala. And here you can see that this is the reporting table. It's an Azure SQL table coming from the ticket schema, coming from the AdventureWorks database, and so on and so on. And last but not least, you can see all associated glossary terms to this asset. Just to let you know, there are some organizations with high level of maturity that using glossary term to perform the search, to have information here on the term. So let's imagine I'm looking for all the asset link to the concert term or to the concert context. I can directly go here to in my glossary term, get the information. On here I can see that I've got 10 assets linked to this glossary term. So just by clicking there, I am sure that I am talking about all the assets about concert. So now I go back in this asset. Of course, during the scan, you will get some technical properties, but you will get also the schema. And here at this level of information, you will be able here to see the schema of this table. But at column level, you can get the classification here. Maybe you notice something particular right over there. For the credit card column, I've got also the sensitivity label. It means that during the scan, I will get my credit card classification, and I've got one more here. This is for European credit card, for instance. During the scan, when the data catalog detects a credit card number, the data catalog can ask to the compliance part of Microsoft Purview to see if a sensitivity label exists for this classification. And this is the case here. So here, by the combination of the classification and the sensitivity label, I know that I've got a credit card number in my table, and for my organization, this kind of information is highly confidential, and that it could be an important information. With a one-time configuration, you can also apply the label at data source level to be sure that the label travels when you use this table, for instance, to create a Power BI report. But I will show you that in a few minutes. You can also have information about the lineage. And here, as I am using all the prerequisites needed to get the lineage, I am able to have the end-to-end lineage from my Azure Data Lake Gen 2 up to Microsoft Power BI dashboard. That is possible because I am using Azure SQL table as a data source for my semantic models right over there. What is interesting at here for the lineage is that, for instance, I can go here at column level. I can see that in this table, because my point of view is there, I am here on the reporting table. I can see that all on the left coming in my table on what is coming out as a consumption here. I know that now this reporting table actually is consumed by these semantic models. But I can see here that I've got a column called full name. On the full name here, it's actually a derivation of first name and last name. So you can see the column derivation. What's interesting, you can also double check with what kind of semantic models on reports using your table. And that it could be also a good clue that if you want to validate this information in this table. For instance, if you are using this report on dashboard every day, and if you are sure that the data is accurate, it means that the data from here is also accurate. So you can, let's imagine using this table could be a good source for your report based on what you have seen in the overview, schema, and lineage. But in the real life, you don't have access. Maybe you don't have access physically to this table. What you can do, you can go on the contact tab to have the name of the expert and the owners, for instance. But that it's in the ideal world. Most of the time, you don't have this information even here in your data catalog. But what it's possible to have and to set up is to set up a kind of workflow at collection level, for instance, to allow business users to request access without to find the owners and the expert, because these things will be managed directly inside the workflow. So what I can do as a Dorothy Parker is just access request here, request the access, sorry, and fill the form and send it to someone in the organization. Actually, this information will be held in the workflow. So I need access. And click on send. Okay, so the request has just been sent. And now let's switch to asset owner or to a kind of manager. Here I am acting as a system administrator here in this case. As I've got more privilege, I have access to more application inside the Unify portal, the Microsoft Purview Unified portal. Just to show you quickly, as a global admin of the solution, I have access to all the new Microsoft Purview capability. Actually, here we merge Microsoft Purview Data Catalog on Microsoft Purview Compliance. So here I've got Risk and Compliance module or application, the data governance, and the data security. So here I just get a notification that I received an email. Here I've got a new email from Dorothy Parker asking me to have access to the reporting table. Of course, I've got an email notification, but I can also go here directly in workflows and have here a look on requests and approvals. So if I click here, I can see the request from Dorothy Parker. So what I can do, I can click on it to get more information. And I can see the request, the command, which asset they request the access. You can also click on it if you want to have more information. And what is super interesting, you can reassign it in case that you need to delegate this access control. And of course, here you can approve or reject the request. So let's approve it and click confirm. Here we have several mechanisms behind the scene. So here, as it's an Azure SQL database, my access will be automatically approved by the data policy. Here in the data policies, I've got information right over there of the policies that I can create. So here I've got self-service access, because behind the scene it's Azure SQL database. So Microsoft Purview, its data catalog, it's able to add access in read-only mode. That it's important. Read-only mode automatically in the self-service access policies to give access to Dorothy Parker. If it's not the case, you can also manually create your policies here, and you can add a description and create a new policy statement with the effect, the action, and which data source you will like to use in your data catalog, for instance. So here a quick example of how to create a manually create a policy. So now, if I go back here, I just approved the access for Dorothy Parker. So now let's switch back to Dorothy Parker and here, come back here as Dorothy Parker. So now, if I go back here, I've got a new email saying, oh, here, you have a new notification regarding reporting table. Good news, your data access request got approved. So it means right now, as Dorothy Parker, I am able to use this data source. So now let's try to open it in Power BI Desktop. So if I click here and get started, I can here save the PBYDS file, click on save, and open it in Power BI Desktop. So here we go. So now I can transform the data or just load it. So this is what I am going to do. And I click OK, and I am ready to create my report. So as I mentioned previously, what you can see here, as I did the configuration required in my Azure SQL database, my label now is traveling from the database, the table, to the report. So now let's design a quick report. Okay, here we go. So now I've got this report. I am super happy. I can save it. And I can now publish it to Power BI service. Okay. So now let's switch to Fabric or to Power BI service. So now here I am in Microsoft Fabric as Dorothy Parker, and I am going to my workspace. So here, this is the report that I just published. But what you can see here, if you go right over there, you can see that now the sensitivity label also travel from Power BI Desktop to my semantic model on the report itself. So now let's imagine I click on the report. And here you can see the label. And for instance, you would like to export the information and the data as a PDF file. So let's do that, export it. So while exporting, what you can see that I can use my my reporting like this in Power BI service. I can also zoom it if I want to visit Paisley Park, for instance, and click on the road and have this nice visual here directly in my Power BI reports. So when my PDF will be generated, I will try to open it. So let's save the report. And now click here to try to open it. And what you can see, Dorothy Parker can't open the document because it's protected by the label. Behind the scene, it's a combination between Microsoft Purview Information Protection and Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention. Combination of both can allow you to do that. So now let's imagine another thing. Dorothy Parker, she's there in their email application. I would like to write an email to send information to someone externally to this organization. And she would like to add the file that I just created directly here. So I can click here, browse, and get the PDF right over there. What you can see here, a policy tip just arrived saying, hey, please don't share sensible information outside from MERCOP. Let's add here a subject and click on send. And what you can see, because I've got data loss prevention based on the sensitivity label, I can't send this report outside my organization because of the label. And that it's a good way to protect your data. Now, let me show you another thing. As a Dorothy Parker in the data catalog, what I did previously, in the data catalog, I use the data search. Now, what you can do, you can do some data product search. Data product, actually, it's a combination of several asset information to allow you to have that at higher level. Let me show you. So let's imagine now I would like to do the same thing. Is here. Insert information. And now it's not an asset that I will get, but I will get a data product. And here I've got the data product right over there with information from the whole data product. For instance, here I've got the description for all the data product on the use cases. I will get some high-level information, say, okay, this data product belongs to this business domain. This is the data product owner. This is the data quality score. And you can define your own terms of use on your own documentation. Most of the time, you have information or document that you would like to use. It could be, for instance, on the SharePoint Online site that you already have in your organization, like this. And this is something that you can customize. But here in my data product, I will get a collection of assets. Not only one, but all the assets that are relevant for this data product. I can view all data assets right over there. I can go on the specific table, as I showed you previously. I can see the data quality score of this table. I can see the information. I can view the details here of the data quality. I can see the profiling, the rules on the schema. Here, based on this data asset, I can have several kind of information. So if I go back here, I can see the glossary term on the main contact. So let's imagine here, I go back on, go on this one. Here I can see my medical data products. I can see here the description. Again, the business domain, the quality score, the health action. I can see all the assets, and what I can do, I can view my asset data, go on my patient table, and as I showed you previously, you can also view the details of the data quality, like this, on the profiling. Previously it was empty, but here I've got the profiling, so I can got information about the profile. I can also go here, identify the language. The language is like this, and have information on profiling. That is because I've got the concept of data business domain. So here again, as Dorothy Parker, I can see two business domain. I can click on this one to have the overview of the business domain. It could be here the status, quality score, data product, glossary term, OKR. What is OKR? OKR is objective and key results. If I click here, it will explain why we created this business domain. Is to answer this question, optimize customer no-show. And this one is at risk. Promote new show, and we are on track. Review venue occupation to optimize marketing actions. We are not at the target, and we have 3 key results. And if I click on it, I can see here the KPI, the key performance indicator for this business domain. Now, if I switch back as system administrator and go on my data catalog, on my data management, non-business domain, you can see now that I can have here 5 business domain. Dorsey Parker can only see the published one. Here, as I am a business domain owner, I can see all the other. And for each of them, I can review the data product, the OKR, and so on and so on. So I can review it according my my needs, and I also have the capability to publish it if I want to share that with my business users. If I go here, I can see that the Canada marketing business domain has 3 data products. And if I go here, I can see the details of all the data products. Only one is published. 2 others are still in draft mode. It means that I can work on it with specific people, and when I am ready to share it globally, I can publish it. Okay, and of course, I can evaluate the data quality score in draft, but also in published, both. I've got also here the data estate health. And one of them is health controls. If I click here, you can, at a glance, to have a view on how to curate your data catalog. You can see here access and use. It's fair, but how and where you can improve that. And you can see that the compliant that I use is not really good. So maybe you can work on it. And the same here for estate curation. You can see that classification and labeling is not really good. And it's where you can go here in the report. And you can go here in the assets. And get here the classification, the list of all the assets here, not applied. And get the view of all the assets at the corporation level with no classification. And based on this list, you can export it as CSV if you want to create a report and if you want to create a list for action to add classification right over there. And we have another kind of report called here, data governance. That it's pretty new. And if you click on it, you can see Power BI logo. It means now we are leveraging Power BI to give you very advanced reports on top of your data catalog. It means that you can browse on your business domain if you want to have a deeper view. You can just filter on just one of them by using here the slicer. And of course, you can also use the drill through if you want to jump to the data product. And that is promising because now you will have Power BI capability inside your data catalog.